Welcome to Cape Town. We're sitting here for the Masters World Cup of Hockey, where we've got Wales playing against South Africa. It's the South Africa Spirit of Masters team. Teams get put together that want to come and play in the tournament, and they get added in. The Spirit of Masters is a great concept where players get to play, not maybe not for the A side, but they get to get picked and go on tour. And we've got some great Spirit of Masters teams at this tournament. This is the first game for the South African Spirit of Masters team. The Wales team's actually started the tournament already, and their first game, unfortunately, they lost to Germany. But eager to get their campaign going, and South Africa playing in front of their home crowd. A very early movement towards the circle, yeah. As South Africa pressing quite hard on top there. South Africa with a circle. This could be a short corner option if they could just get something for it. Umpires debating the call, but not giving it. I'm joined today with Brian Scott, one of the South African players from the O45 team. Brian, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Pierre. I think it's really cool for the South African team to finally get off the mark. Unfortunately, with Oman pulling out, they haven't played for the last 3 days, so this is their first official game, which is something I know they were chomping at the bit for. So here's hoping it goes down well.
These teams not in your pool, Brian, am I right? They're in the other pool?
No, so they're in Pool A, and they're actually in a much harder pool than we are. So it'll be interesting to see how both these teams actually progress in their respective pools.
Like I said before, Wales lost to Germany, and Germany and the Netherlands are in that pool, so that's a tough one to be in.
Yeah.
Nice fiery start to this game, a lot quicker than the last game we saw, where the Germans like to slow the game down as much as possible. Nice crowd turning out as always when you got the local team playing. People crawl out the woodwork, and it also, the game's been played at Western Province Cricket Club, which has an excellent bar facility which people like to attend as well. Does help the supporters.
I think that SA crowd always likes to get behind their players, as if it was in any country. You know, your home team is always supported well. So hopefully this will continue throughout the tournament.
Yeah, South Africa starting really well, yeah, pushing Wales back into their circle, just trying to get something for this. Couple of circle entries, not turned into goal shots yet, but a good start. South Africa just pushing close to the circle, trying to find a good option. That's a really good ball across. The ball all over the place, umpire line advantage. Don't think that shot is on target. Kevin Green, a really good circle entry. And Wales having to reset. The South African team looks like they've got a lot of energy. Obviously their first game of the tournament. The legs haven't been running yet. Nice ball snap to the lines. It's Tom Sharp from Wales. This makes the effort of getting the ball on his back stick and pulling it back into the opposite man to get a free hit. Brian, it's always interesting watching the defensive patterns being placed over here. A lot of teams are going for the half-court press, but this South African team's clearly pressing a bit higher. Glenn Zederberg on the ball. Finding Grant Anderson, who's just pushed the ball out wide. To Garth Sinclair, and Sinclair just can't find the circle entry. South Africa need to be wary because Wales are hanging a high forward. I've heard you've opted for this job of being high forward and it's been denied, right? Specialist position.
It is very much a specialist position, one which, as you get older, you get further and further down the ranks. So I'm no longer a specialist forward. But thanks for bringing that up, Pierre Leroux.
I've heard Dale Isaacs perfected this high-hanging forward role. Wales is not moving the ball cleanly. And often just playing straight into South Africa's hands. South Africa just having a good circle entry again, but it's with the mayhem and it being a bit hectic. This ball just seems to be out of their reach when it gets the circle and popping over the baseline. But they are dominating much of the possession on this side of the field. Ball out to the corner flag. That probably wasn't the best option. A lot of teams, when they get to that situation, like to go sideways instead of direct. As you see, the first round of substitutes being made. Again, Wales struggling to get the ball at the back. A bit of a mistake from South Africa, which has led to the turnover. Umpire saying there was something wrong there. Brian, you're the expert on umpires. Maybe I could rely on you to just interpret what they're doing.
Yeah, fortunately, I didn't know what was going on there. But, I mean, umpires are a breed of their own, so...
You haven't made the full range in that direction yet? Hasn't had the calling?
No, the guys are obviously struggling to get into the game, but I'm sure those kind of passes will slowly start sticking.
Yes.
Nice.
Can't lie. Grant Anderson seems to be full of running in this game.
Those distinctive fluorescent yellow shoes and that white headband.
In South Africa, just trying to find the circle entry. They don't seem to find a clear line in. I think they might be going too direct. They might have to work some angles out here. This game being played at a frantic pace. Ziedeberg out wide, trying to find an angle. Oh, a great pickup. Good stretch and a ball in the circle. Fantastic hockey being played there. Long range circle entry. And it's always good to see forwards diving to get some effort in. You don't see that much these days.
Not since your day, Happier.
It's one of the lost skills in world hockey. I think Murray Anderson was a perfectionist at that. So Garth Sinclair just making a great diving effort in there. In South Africa, their first short corner ball came off the keeper, popped into air. And now we're looking for some options over here. Looks like we've got a hit and a flick on the line. And the injection way off target. Unfortunately, this could be an unfortunate turnaround. Again, a good bat in the midfield. Wales look at the numbers, but just not holding on to control. And again, Grant Anderson looks like he just wants to go places. If he can just find the link up. Ball going across. The fresh air shot, but the umpires let it go. Normally they blow that, deciding there was nobody close for the danger. And again, Brian, this game has got a frantic pace to it. Not sure how long these guys are going to last.
It certainly has livened up since the first 5 minutes of this little chucker. The Welsh Dragon seems to have woken up, and it's nice to see.
South Africa a bit exposed there, but the tracking back from the runners was fantastic to see. You don't often see forwards coming back to help, and that was worthy. South Africa choosing to go for yellow numbers on white shirts, which is a headache for us to see the number, right?
I think it was more of a designer choice rather than a
white on black like Wales.
An operational choice, correct.
A nice hatch ball through. That's going to test anybody's hamstrings, I'm not sure. If Gareth Hayes was appreciating that hatch ball. Matthew Harvey just throwing the ball a little bit too far in front. As Glenn Ziedeberg now gets on the ball. South Africa full of play here. Carson Clare with the ball on the line. Nice lead out. P-spot's wide open if they can fire a ball in. The long handle coming out. A fantastic bit of hockey there. Charlie Jenkins making a great run through there, just knocking the ball the end of his stick. Brian, I'm watching this team play, the Spirit of Masters team, and I'm wondering if you guys had any practice matches against them and how those went.
Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting playing against these guys. They've got a bit of structure, they're hard running, and they never give up. So I'm assuming that's probably a similar type of game plan today. Wales just have to match them for running, and they'll actually be able to kind of do something seriously kind of strong on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Matthew Harvey again, controlling the midfield there. Looks like he's got the job of coordinating everybody in the midfield there. Again, Wales stepping high now, just putting a bit of pressure on, but South Africa happy to move the long ball. Zederberg just putting the ball back in field. Good ball control, just opening the field up and playing to the far side. Sinclair now on the ball. Tested Van Zyl there with a little flip ball. Unfortunately, nothing much happening. Again, the South African team's going to have to slow down a little bit at some stage and make sure they get the quality right before they burn themselves out. Game still scoreless, 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Brian, could you maybe explain to me, because I haven't figured this out yet, why these quarters are much longer than an international hockey match? South Africa with a quick breakthrough. This could be interesting. The tuck back, just not finding the short corner. He's chucker 17 and a half minutes. Normally they play 15 minutes a chucker.
I actually don't have an answer for that. I'm assuming that maybe a little bit more time from a Masters perspective is always a good thing. Yeah, beats me.
I was very surprised when I saw that. I thought maybe it might be that they were not going to stop the clock for injuries and let the time keep running, but I have seen for injuries they are stopping the clock. So,
well, maybe it's because the Masters guys are a little bit fitter than the younger guys, and they give them a bit more time to play. Might be an option.
I think it's more about time management than good win of the ball there. We've got the ball going through. Unfortunately, South Africa just trying to hit the ball at the bottom corner there, but South Africa just smashing the ball at the back here, trying to find the way forward. Need to work on the small game. Don't need to hit the long ball every time. Mark Webster is patrolling high, asking for some long ball, and there it comes. Mark Webster just not able to get there. Put in a spirited dive though to make sure that the crowd is pleased. Andrew Strong just deciding where the ball's got to go out the back there, making sure everything's nice and neat. A good ball at the fetches, and again, industrious work in the midfield here. Wales coming away with the midfield battle, just making the interplay passes nice and neat and small. Jason Arnold winning the foot to the midfield and moving off. Wales looking for the 2v1 there. Actually a very good skill for people to learn at this level. 2v1 elimination. A lot of the Masters get a bit brave and take people on by themselves.
Wales definitely seem to be getting onto the possession state, which is always obviously a good thing. Looked like it was a little bit one-sided on the South African thing, but seems like they're kind of really coming to the game now.
Hot shot on the right, just trying to help his playmaker again forward there. Both teams hoping for the blows. Gareth Hayes lets his displeasure be known. And Jason Arnold in the middle of, no, not Jason Arnold, sorry, that's Matthew Harvey. Looking for the big transfer. That could be a great ball. I don't think Mark Norton had the energy to go for that one.
Nor the hamstrings.
Good ball though, really saw the vision and went for it. Wales cutting the field in half. A couple of teams have been playing this pattern with one forward high and 3 or 4 links behind. Zuiderberg going for the long ball again. And again, that roving forward, just tempting the South African team to maybe play a little bit too long too early. Still 2 minutes to go in this quarter. No score on the scoreboard. South Africa having one short corner, but squandering it with a really poor push. Long corner for South Africa. There's a minute and a half to go. They're going to want to get something from this. The ball being lost, and this is my worry. Nick Reynolds is high on the field. He's going to back himself to have a go here. And the ball gets offloaded. This could be a tomahawk shot. Could we have one? Some sense coming into it, and the ball being pulled back onto the foot. Umpire not seen it, but the crowd letting the umpire know their displeasure. And Brian, we've got a very good setup here. We've got South African on the left crowd, and on the right we've got a strong Wales contingent. This could be quite loud, I think.
Oh, that's how it should be, I think. It'd be nice if the Welsh contingent starts making a little bit more noise.
Wales squandering the ball there. Simon Slater tracking forward, and looks like Kevin Green high in the field, but the ball going astray. So 30 seconds left in this Chaka. Brian, your thoughts on this game at the moment? Where do you see it going?
Oh, it's very 50-50. At one stage it was a little bit kind of top heavy on the South African side, but I think the Welsh have played themselves back into it. They're finding their straps. Hopefully yeah, we'll see some goals shortly.
Yeah, I think South Africa need to strike while the iron's hot. Wales are going to play themselves more and more into this game. With 10 seconds to go, South Africa need to get the ball in here. Backhand pass, crash tackle, and I'm afraid that's going to be the end of this one. And there we come to the end of the first quarter. You'll join us again for the second quarter shortly. Welcome back as we join the second quarter of this match between Wales and the Spirit of South Africa Masters team. Ball being played, it's still 0-0, and the South African Spirit of Masters team started like a house on fire. And Wales have slowly but surely played themselves back into the game. The game 0-0. South Africa having some chances, but we haven't seen any goals yet, and there's quite a good build-up going yet. A soft circle entry, but nothing for that. Straight back to the South African player, and they just go over the baseline. Brian, I've seen a common theme in this tournament. A lot of players, teams move down the right-hand flank. When they get stuck in the corner, they stand up and they hit it as hard as they can.
I think it's most of these players grew up on a grass field in many countries, and it's great to do when you're playing on grass, but very easy to defend when you're obviously playing on AstroTurf. So it's probably those old school kind of tricks coming to the fore again.
Ron Anderson on the run, trying to get through, trying to set up the dribble. He needs to use his teammates more. Umpire's playing advantage there. Yes, we have seen a lot of people showing off that they've been hitting the ball with the long handle stick for many years, and they do it so cleanly, properly. Wales coming over the ball. The game becoming a little bit scrappy now with everybody dribbling too much. A lot of contact. Zederberg just shoveling the ball forward, but for no avail, but getting it straight back again, and then putting the long handle out. Oh, unfortunately, connecting Andrew Strong in front of him. And the ball open into the goals. Get a second Cherry, and he just does not put it away.
It's just a bit too much testosterone going through there when you're trying to get that ball into the back of the net.
Mark Webster had an ideal chance in front of the goal there, and just rushed it a bit, and then on the rebound, took a big swing at it. He's not going to want to see that on the replay when he gets home tonight.
No, I'm sure his team will reward him amply with that little thing that he did there.
I'm sure his teammates will show it to him often. Last thing about the stream on YouTube, you get to watch his games straight away afterwards. A lot of teams going back and analyzing their games, if not for the technical aspect, more for the humor sometimes. As Anderson takes the ball forward again. And the crossover, and that's a really good ball. I lost the control. I think the spin got him there. Did everything right in that build-up. Damien Carlos, I think. Ball coming a zigzag across Anderson in, the cross coming straight to him, and all he had to do is keep control. It's so easy to say that from up here. I do it all the time. Tell people what they should have done.
Exactly.
Wales building up in the back again. Not sure if Wales thought that when they got to this game they'd be chasing this game as hard as they are. The South African side, although they're spirited masters, really full of running. Again, South Africa transferring the ball nicely across, but Wales continuously hanging. Nick Reynolds up high. I fear at some stage I'm going to be saying his name and putting him on the score sheet. Commentating in a game of Argentina versus Spain this morning. Both teams continuously leave two players in the opposite circle. Matthew Harvey just bounced past in the middle of the field there. Anderson of the slap. Ball going through, just losing a bit of control under the pressure, but getting the blow. Want to take the quick free hit to see if they can get the ball away and move the ball wide. Scanning for the circle entry. but straight to a Wales player. Ball getting cracked loose, and here we go with Nick Reynolds making his movement. Ball being popped through. I think Matthew Harvey again was thinking that's a little bit too much for him, coming all the way from the halfway line to being asked to run one level more. So Brian, we were talking in the last game when you were on air about your cancer run and your speedos. Is that a general charity for the whole tournament, or was it your team that was doing that?
It was just a team initiative, really. It would have been actually nice to include all the teams to do that as part of like a drive for prostate cancer. And maybe it's something that, you know, future World Cups could actually include in their CSI initiatives. A really good cause and lots of fun, part of exercise as well. So maybe future organisers, that's something you could do.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, if you promote yourselves enough and you get more pictures out on social media of you guys in speedos, it might attract more attention.
Maybe.
I did notice, though, that some of the players were hiding at the back of the photograph.
Yeah, yes, most of the team are hiding at the back of the photograph. Only a few, relatively fit and healthy individuals were in the front.
All for a good cause, fantastic. I'm assuming there were no exams associated with this course?
Exams? Oh, no. Although, you know, obviously when you get to your 50s, that should be an annual checkup. But maybe that's something that can be used in future kind of tournaments. I don't know. Have a physio
it would be a very unique sponsorship to have.
Absolutely.
Think out the boxes, you do.
You could come up with some really funny copy lines that could go with that.
I was thinking that would be your next challenge to
I'll
come up with some punchlines for that.
I'll put it to the boss and see what happens.
The game going through a bit of a lull now, where the teams are sussing each other out, and again, often at this stage of the game, people try and do too much and the mistakes starts creeping in.
I should have thought by now we should have had our first goal. Taking a bit of time getting there.
Just a mistrap on the sideline. It's actually ironic. We find the longer the game stays 0-0, the more anxious players get.
Exactly. Especially if it's your first game, as in the South Africans' case.
Wales is trying to smack the ball through. Andrew Strong getting the long iron out. South Africa trying to open the play up for Zederberg, and it's just a little bit too far. Again, Wales playing an interesting pattern with a 4-5-1. South Africa get the turnover. And just turning away there. I'm not sure if Lopez knew that he had space to turn. Zederberg looking, and he's always good for the big hit. Ball on the edge of the circle. Very scrappy at that time, and Ryan Asher just swinging around, not collecting the ball cleanly. Tim Miller just sending the ball wide, a little bit slow, and a little bit wide, and not very accurate. Again, the ball in the circle, but well defended. Andrew Strong really standing out as one of the key players in that setup. Good turnover skill here. Kid in the circle. He's got on his stick. He can't take the swing, but the umpire gives him the advantage outside the circle instead of the PC. Crowd voicing their dissatisfaction. And now we have a clean ball in the circle. And unfortunately, a small skill eluding him there, Brian.
Yeah, you don't want that happening at this time of the game. Those are the kind of circle entries that you really want to make stick.
Wales now just looking for the build-up play, a little interplay happening. Grant Anderson, full of running. Not sure where Grant comes from. First time I've seen him play. As you're saying, Brian, in your game there were a couple of cards for behavioural. I can see them coming to the fore here.
Yeah, it seems like the game's heating up a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if the umpires are going to start reaching into their pockets.
Wales
just to get a bit of
coming away with a fantastic steal there. Just a little ball. Wales having a chance. If they can just get a circle into you, we'll see a short corner from them if we can. And South Africa coming away with the ball. The long ball being played and the keeper being called into action. I remember young Steve Holvik trying to do that. Haven't seen it for a while though.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Oh, passing the ball outside. Steve Holvik obviously playing for the South African team, but he is eligible for Mauritius next year.
Yeah, I think he's going to be forming a little Mauritian powerhouse there, and maybe we might see them at the next Masters World Cup. Who knows?
Just takes one person to start the dice rolling. Wales just moving the ball out the back here, but not finding the passes. And South Africa, when they get it, just running very, very hard back and making mistakes. And the ball going across to Nick Reynolds. There he is. He's been waiting for this the whole time. He's going to turn. Can he get something for this? South Africa paying him close attention. It looks like he's trying to get the short corner, and the ball just pops loose here. He had a moment there where he could have just put on the foot and maybe got a short corner for his team. Ball fired into the circle across the D. And Nick Reynolds not touching it this time for the deflection. Just got a thin edge on that. South African hearts must have been fluttering there for a little second. Worried about that one. As Wales come back and just try and set their platform up again.
Yeah, much better from Wales. They're stringing some passes together, some good running.
South Africa's definitely playing the harassing role, niggling away as fast as they can at Wales when they get the ball. And Grant Anderson is running a little bit over legs there. I'm noticing as well that Wales are anticipating the transfer ball and they're leaving players wide and wide on the field. It's going to open some gaps up somewhere along the line if they can. South Africa can just pierce through it. We've got a big overhead going on there. Tom Sharp's going to have to make some yards to get there, and he does get the ball in the circle, but South Africa arrive first and can mop it up. South Africa again enjoying a lot of hometown support as the ball goes right across the field. Long ball through. Just not able to control the ball. Charlie Jenkins made a really good run back there and just couldn't get on his backhand as the ball goes through again. And like I said before, Nick Reynolds making some positive runs over there, and it looked like Van Ziedenberg was harassing him. Might not have been as strong as the umpire suggested, but I'm sure if we watch on the replay, we're going to see a little bit of argy-bargy as the ball was being thrown there. Nick Reynolds proving to be a handful up top there. And we just see Glenn Ziedenberg running the longer line to get to the ball. Umpire saying he was pushing more. A light nudge. Wales now stepping up for their first short corner of the game. We haven't actually seen anything from them, so Reynolds on the drag flick, strong on the hits. There's the flick. And Reynolds on the overhead more than the drag flick. He's going to set to that. Their first short corner, if they'd scored that goal, Brian, they would have thrown the cats amongst the pigeons for this game.
Especially in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the half.
South Africa now having a chance on that side, and just the loss of control. They've still got it if they can make it happen. Ball in the circle, backhand. Backhand, back slap. I'm not sure what you call that one-handed reverse stick maneuver.
Kind of similar type of skills that you used to have in your youth, yeah.
My theory was whatever works, stick with it. Doesn't have to be pretty sometimes.
It's what they teach you in the Free State, so nice to see that you're carrying through.
If I'm not mistaken, Brian, a lot of these players would have started their hockey on grass.
Absolutely, I think
at this level of Masters.
Most Masters players have played on grass for a certain specific period of their time, of their hockey playing career.
Great ball through there. Reynolds just dropping the ball back. Hodgkinson trying to link up with him again, and Harvey there to help out. And the turnover ball happening, and as the clock runs down here, we've got 51 seconds left. Things getting a bit heated in the midfield. Strong throwing the ball wide. Hayes trying to get in the game, but I think he might have looked up and seen the scoreboard and realized they need to slow this game down a little bit now to see this half out and come back and fight another day. Woodcock sneaking around the left-hand side, trying to get into the circle. Here comes the ball now, and again a good strong run. And again a strong run dribbling the ball, and South Africa making the tackle, and again the umpire's guilty of slightly of umpiring with their ears. Hearing a bit of a clack, and immediately the hands coming out. I'm not sure if there was a goal-saving tackle. As the half ends and Wales get to play out this penalty corner with all their players streaming forward, South Africa will be very unhappy if this goes in. Again, we've got Strong on the hit, and we've got Reynolds on the flick, and every other player from Wales in the area. Ball comes out, it's Reynolds again on the flick. Flicks it on target. A fantastic save by the South African goalkeeper, but unfortunately, it got saved straight back into the player. I'm trying to see who's in goals there for South Africa. Is it Denver Dangels? Another short corner award, yeah, it's a re-award. Same scenario. Reynolds overruns it, goes for the zigzag option. But I think there was a miscommunication there about what it should have happened. As we go into halftime, scores still level 0-0. We'll be back in a short while.
We are fascinated by the mindsets and the habits that make individuals and teams perform at another level. Let us be your thought partners and transformational coaches. Are you part of a team and you are wanting to gain insight into what ingredients need to be in the mix to take your team to a whole new level of performance, partner with us. We want to be your transformational coaches.
At thehockeysite.com, it's about what happens in the locker room, thinking about the game. It's about planning and preparation, and about training and improving those skills, looking at it from different angles. But of course, it's also about teaching them to score and win. Thehockeysite.com. Share the knowledge.
Welcome back. We back in the match of the South African Spirit team against Wales in the over-45 division here at the World Cup Masters. The game still tied at 0-0, and as most games that go 0-0 are, the anxiety always builds up as we have a very fast start. I've substituted Brian Scott out. I'm now joined by Steve Evans, another player at this tournament and a legend in his own right. Sebs, how you been keeping?
All good, Pierre. Fantastic to be involved in this Masters World Cup. Been fantastic playing some great hockey and also connecting with old mates that used to play with in the various countries that I was lucky enough to live in over the years. So yeah, it's been a great tournament so far.
No, the size of this tournament has been impressive. We had the first Masters tournament was in Nottingham for the 35s and 40s. Now we've got this tournament in Cape Town, the second one of the Masters series, and there's still one more to come in Tokyo for the over 60s and over 65, and I believe there's an over 70 division that some countries are sending teams to. As Simon Mason said to me, that's called the Survivor edition of the tournament.
Yeah, and South Africa have just been given away a short corner there for a little bit of argy-bargy in the 22. Looked a little bit soft from up here in the commentary box, but yeah, hopefully South Africa don't concede. They've certainly looked like they've had the balance of the game so far, and Wales with one or two corner opportunities and one or two breakaways, but South Africa's certainly been dominating the game so far.
Yeah, Nick Reynolds looks like he's keen to flick this, but Andrew Strong on the hit. We watched him hit a couple out the back, and if he gets hold of one or two, they haven't gone to Strong yet. I think this looks, all intents purposes, going to go to Reynolds. Good push, good trap. A little bit long on the pickup. And fantastic save there.
Yeah, it's Denver Daniels.
Denver Daniels in goals. And the South Africa countering with the short corner, one of my favorite tricks in the book. This, if you do win it, unfortunately, Grant Anderson is letting the ball go 3, but one of the best tricks in the book is when you've got a short corner against you and they mess it up, is knocking the ball downfield as fast as you can. And hopefully trying to capitalize
Pierre,
on the counter.
my sense from that first half is the South Africans just trying to rush things a little bit in the final third. They've had some lovely build-up play, and they've been working the ball nicely, but just been guilty of trying to force it down through the middle there, and Wales coming away with a counter attack.
One of the positives of the South African team is they are full of running and very energetic, but the downside is they're often carrying the ball just a little bit too far, and then when they execute the skill, they're in the tackle zone of the Welsh defenders. And these Welsh players have been positioning themselves really well on the defensive lines. We noted that this is the first game for South Africa, so they are full of running, a lot of adrenaline in your first game at the World Cup. Wales having lost to Germany yesterday in their first pool game. Just a lack of control in the midfield there.
So the Welsh parking the bus there. And unfortunately, the defender under a little bit of pressure, but Antonio Lopez not 5 yards there, so it's going
we're not
away.
going to get into this, but that is a good discussion on the new overhead rule of how that could pan out.
So what was quite interesting in that situation, actually, John Wright gave us a little chat before he did a webinar with all the South African teams before the tournament, just trying to feedback the latest interpretations of rules from the top. And what he was saying is that the person or the player that is in the best position to receive and control the ball has the right to play it. And but as long as the attacker is not contesting the ball and allows him to bring it down and control it sufficiently, that you could be standing a couple of yards behind, but if the defender, like he did there, received it and it hit him on the foot, that could have been blown the other way. So yeah, very, very different interpretations to what we've experienced. So yeah.
Yeah, no, a lot of the coaching discussions around this rule have been along the lines of forwards being patient, let the defender catch it. You can be close enough now. Once he's got control, you're actually in a really good position to try and dispossess him. But forwards and patience often don't go in the same sentence. And the forwards rushing a little bit too early, and
Said like a true coach.
all the forwards around the country are throwing things at me right now, but it is true. Again, South Africa just rushing forward with the ball, maybe not linking up enough passes. I haven't seen many 1-2 passes in the build-up.
Yeah, I think also first game for many of them, first time representing their country, so a lot of pressure and a lot of I think personal hype and expectation. So one almost needs to remind yourself that yes the level is higher. Oh, and a counter attack
Great
here.
opportunity here. If you can see the one on the left.
Release.
Oh, and again just carrying the ball a little too far. Just carrying the ball again into their tackle zone and being a good defender, position themselves to cover the tackle and also the intercept. Like we said at the beginning of this broadcast, that this pool is a very strong pool for two reasons. Germany and Netherlands are in this pool. So teams need results from here. Wales having lost one. Argentina also in this pool having lost 2 matches. The South African team playing their first game. And if they can get some points out of this game, it'll put them in the middle of the pool comfortably. As the spectator from the sideline just throws the ball onto the field.
Yeah, I think, Pierre, what is interesting, just by observation, a lot of the European technical skills quite well refined. Okay, and on the Welshman being given a 2-minute suspension for not being 5 yards away from the free hit.
I must admit that it happens quite a lot at this level of the tournament, that players don't retreat fast enough and before they engage again. And again, Nick Reynolds just lurking up high, waiting for the through ball. What he's been very good at, though, is not just receiving and running. He lurks up high and then posts up and waits for people to join in. Often that being Harvey and Arnold come to join him at the top there, not shy to go up and play with him.
Yeah, Pierre, I'd really like to see the two key South African midfielders, Rautenbach at right mid and Grant Anderson at centre mid, just taking control of this game and starting to dominate it. If the South Africans are wanting to get themselves on the score sheet here.
Yeah, I think the midfield battle is always where these games are won. We're talking about the refined skills from the European teams. It does look like when they get to the master level, they simplify their game so nicely. Where the countries that aren't in the top 2, 3, 4 in the world seem to overcomplicate it. And yeah, we have the umpires getting involved again as well. Issuing the South African player for a stick tackle. Umpires here in the stick noise, and again Wales pushing in that corner. Matthew Harvey full of life and running, just can't get through there, and it just gives South Africa a chance. And this could be a fantastic if they can control this ball through to the top. Unfortunately, as it would happen, Mark Webster just did not control the ball. He had one in the first half of exactly the same that came to him with a bit of time, and he just rushed ahead of the game. Wales now looking for options.
Well, you're definitely starting to see the game open up here. Game's starting to get a little bit stretched through the midfield, and I think that's hopefully going to open up for a couple of goals and goal-scoring opportunities. Like I said, it just needs one or two of these midfielders to step up, take the game by the scruff of the neck and create something.
First pass, just going a little bit astray. Wales been able to win it again. And again, that long ball, just trying to find Reynolds high again. I don't think Nick Reynolds has left the field, actually. I think he's just been patrolling high, taking his time. And like a couple of teams at this World Cup, they've employed a high forward and 4 or 5 links behind. High forward cuts in the field, and the links just stopping the ball going forward down the lines. Ball ended up in the top left-hand corner, but no joy from there. Couple of missed. Some wily old foxes there. There's that long ball again. Drop pass. Again, Matthew Harvey joining the party.
Briggs steps up. Briggs steps up and asserts his authority on the game. South Africa just a little bit careless there. Instead of maybe just running through that midfield, closing that space down before making the pass.
Again, Wales just pulling the ball away from the tackler every time, just making the defensive player run a little bit further than he has to, and then making the offload pass. Long ranging ball through there, but Michael James from Wales leading the wrong way. This has been a fiery game. From the games we've watched so far, a lot of running going on in this game.
Lots of time and space for Rautenbach. Looks down that right-hand channel, but doesn't make any connections and rolls over the baseline for a 16-yard hit.
And your game so far, Sevens, how you find the stand of the tournament?
Yeah, it's been fine. We had a fantastic game against England this morning. Really well contested, lots of opportunities both ways.
Circle opportunity.
Oh.
The tomahawk coming out.
Yeah, unfortunately, Van Zyl just a little bit off balance when he hit that one, and yeah, topping it. So unfortunately, no connection there.
Hardy Van Zyl, the ball popping loose out there. Time to make amends now. Nice solid tackle there from Simon Slater.
Slater playing his hockey in the UK, so I'm very aware of...
A great touch. A ball down the middle. It'll be interesting to watch us on the replay. The ball crashed down the middle, and the reverse stick held out for deflection. I think the keeper was caught by surprise here because the ball went straight
I think
down
Ashton
the
got
middle
the final touch there.
Good build-up play, scanning, saw the gap down the middle, went for the slap, and you just see keeper error. The ball got deflected up into his chest, and the keeper tried to swat it away, and unfortunately missed it. He's going to hate it for that, but South Africa take a 1-love lead in this fixture. We're only in the
legs.
We're only in the third chuck here. We're only in the third chuck, and there's a lot of hockey still to come, but South Africa have been working hard for that. Fantastic vision to see that option on the middle, and again, we've got another chance coming through here. Ball popping loose. Can he get the stick on this one? Gets the crack off, but unfortunately had to swivel to get that off.
Looks like the South Africans have just stepped up their game a gear and putting Wales under a lot more pressure than they were in the first little bit, and that immediately resulting in a couple of chances.
What I'm liking about those two chances are they got more direct, looking for options up front and then picking them when they're on. The ball might just have a little bit too much legs on it. Africa now holding the ball a lot better. You can't defend a 1-love lead, but you can still settle yourself down now with a bit of confidence.
Nice little right-hand side play there, but unfortunately Ashton not being able to pick up on the tee spot. Another good South African right-hand side build-up play there.
Escaping away then, just getting a bit of a flop, but again, keep possession. Right half wide open. Nice clip there from Slater. Hold on the line, it's in the dead zone, but can still work with it. Pops it through again. That was great flip skills. Just need enough air to get it over the line, stick, and it's going to be their third short corner of the match. Their first two short corners, the injection wasn't on target. So I think the first priority is to get the injection on target, and then looks like Gavin Briggs is interested in this, do you think?
Yeah, I'd say Briggsy off the top with a straight strike.
Wales getting their run out. Drag flick going off, just not on target. Not sure if we watch that replay again, the keeper was going the wrong way. Still needs to be on target. South Africa with a long corner now, still looking for options. Going out wide, but just lack of control there. Short corner, just going wide. Keeper went down to his right-hand side. Always easy to call it in retrospect. As we end the third quarter of this match, South Africa now taking a 1-love lead, and they'll be happy with that effort. We've still got one more quarter to go, so don't go too far. The South African team taking a 1-love lead in the third quarter in this over 45 age group at the Masters World Cup of Hockey being played in Cape Town. This game's been very energetic with South Africa doing lots of the running, creating a lot of opportunities and finally getting the scoreboard ticking with a good deflection on the left hand. Saves your predictions for this game going forward?
Yeah, I think we're probably going to see a goal more from each side. So I'm gonna say 2-1 South Africa. Back the boy cheese.
At the start of this match, there was a large Welsh fan contingent on our right-hand side, and they seem to have moved on. And I think the Welsh team might need that voice support from the sideline. Some nice stick work there from David King, just keeping the ball out of reach.
Pierre, as a coach, you know, you're always telling your players, you know, watch out for that double turnover, and we've seen a lot of that this evening, where players have worked so hard to win the ball and then give it away again straight back.
Yeah, the double turnover, especially when it's a soft pass, which is a controllable in most people's games, does hurt and frustrate the coach, like you say.
Nice play from Rautenbach, but just not able to connect on the pass. Sometimes better just to win that free hit down in that zone, keep the positive, keep the momentum going.
Nice control of the ball there. Very, very stiff tackle coming in there. A big yellow card.
Slater's been shown the custard slice. I wonder if that's going to
carried on a bit too far after the whistle.
Yeah, it looked like there wasn't too much in it, and I think just getting a little bit hot-headed and flaring the elbows there post tackle. So I think that's going to hurt the South African team, and it'll be interesting to see whether the Welsh decide to step up and put a little bit of a press on here.
Little run through there, little backhand flip, ball loose in the circle. With Anderson coming to the rescue. Oh, double turnover, Sebs, like you called it. I think umpires choosing hands there, put the one hand up and then decided to change his mind. I was chatting to Brian Scott earlier and we were talking about technical yellow cards and behavioral yellow cards and the difference between them with some teams. Some teams pick up a lot of behavioral yellow cards with all the stuff that goes on. South Africa in a good position here. There's a man running across the
Webster
screen.
On the ball.
Can he find the 1-2 pass?
Connects to Rautenbach. And has it just gone too far? No, it looks like Rautenbach will rein it in. And my feeling is South Africa just need to try and get a set piece there. Welsh defender does well.
Was a really neat step in front of the defender to receive that ball. Often forwards are guilty of standing behind their man and waiting. It was Damien Carlitz who just stepped in front of his man and tried to spin it. South Africa man down for 5 minutes, but we've still got control of the ball. Good
Jenkins
diving
on the
up
dive.
ball in.
And Sinclair now here in midfield makes a good connection. Hodgie down the line, but just Webster can't quite reel it in.
Wales now hanging 2 players high, trying to stretch the field.
Pierre, were you able to see any of the opening ceremony online?
Yes, in fact, we had an interesting discussion, about the opening ceremony, but also about your team's endeavour for the cancer and patrolling the beaches in your speedos.
Absolutely, the Daredevil run was a great success. Certainly, a lot of the Sea Point locals were hooting their horns and cheering us on. So Very important, yeah, with Cancer Awareness Month for both. An
going
opportunity
through.
here. Oh,
I dare say a bit of anti-skill on the edge of the circle for the ball to pop in, but a free shot popping out at the end.
yeah, I think Calitz was on the end of that and just not able to get the shot on target. So I think the South Africans will be disappointed, given that, you know, that would have been, I think, a nail in the coffin for the Welsh there.
Especially with the man down. That would have been a fantastic thing to happen. I see Jenkins coming off here. Did he injure himself? No, he's just frustrated with missing that shot on target. Now the ball just bobbling loose and then coming off a stick. Actually, two South African players, I think, collided trying to shoot.
Yeah, it looks like Jenkins was diving in for the ball, but Calitz got there first. So, yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there, and sadly not able to put it away.
They're going to watch that clip tonight and they're going to rue it. Again, 1-0 up, still 11 minutes to go, still a lot of time in this game.
Yeah, plenty of time, and I've been quite surprised that the Welsh haven't pressed and put a little bit more pressure on the South Africans, just to ask a couple of questions, especially given that they're 1-0 down at the moment.
Yeah, South Africa man down, but they're still getting to transfer the ball freely around the field here. So much so that they got some inroads now going towards the D.
They've been getting guys into the right position, which is important, but just not able to make those final connections. See if Sinclair can win the corner here.
Low for obstruction there, which I thought might have been a foot, but it's always easy to commentate from the top here.
Yeah. There's certainly plenty of umpires in the crowd that are throwing their opinions around heavily. Some of them fueled by a couple of sips of the amber liquid.
Okay.
Oi.
Nice turn, a little high stick there. Got to be careful. Matthew Harvey a bit surprised there, but
they certainly don't call them hard nuts for nothing. Van Zyl is tough as nails and likes to dominate his opponents out there on the pitch. Just needs to be a little bit careful in the context with these umpires.
so Slates are back on the park. South Africa back to full contingent. Nice, good ball going forward. If they can just control this and find an option, yeah.
Lopez on the ball, makes the pass, but not able to connect with Van Zyl.
Matthew Harvey just training again there. He's been so industrious in the midfield. Hayes on the ball now. Harvey always coming to fetch every single ball that he can find.
Briggs with a lot of experience there, just finding himself in that free sweeper role and just marking his lines beautifully. Snuffing out that attack.
A yellow card being given for, and I definitely missed that because that is an elevation of a.
I think he's called that for knocking the ball away, but if in truth, I think he was just passing it back to the spot where the free hit was.
He made the pass off the whistle, but his mate stopped it, so it wasn't exactly like he headed down the field, and he wouldn't be wasting time, I don't think.
No, certainly not.
Ball into the circle and Reynolds making the dive. Again, Wales now with a 5-minute yellow card. It's going to take them right down to 3 minutes to go. South Africa need to hold the ball now and make sure that they don't get too complacent. Oh, loose pass there.
Lopez on the ball, goes out wide. Comes into the circle.
Could be a great chance.
Oh, nice little snap backhand shot there, and keeper read it well, protecting his near post. and making the save.
A sliding backhand shot. That wasn't the high tomahawk backswing. Nice build-up going wide before they got in there, just to make it happen. A nice slap in, and he had it with a sliding backhand. And I'm not sure if the keeper had all of that. Might have caught him on the near post.
Yeah, I'm not sure what your sense is, but South Africa certainly just over these this last phase of the game have certainly dominated. It looks like there's a little bit more space up front for players to operate in. I think as the Welsh have got a little bit tired, as the game stretched out, and I think yeah, should probably see a little bit more goalmouth action for the end of this game.
I think just from the outside, South Africa started this game charging, and they've just slowed down a little bit, just one gear, and making cleaner passes and just keeping the ball away from Wales. As I say that, commentators curse, they give it straight back. Again, Harvey running all the way across to fetch it. Bit of a swinging tackle there, but no harm. Just under 6 minutes to go. Again, a tenuous lead. One love isn't exactly something you want to flirt with.
So I think South Africa really needs to draw on their experience now, just to control this game. Make sure that they're dominating. They're just going pass to pass. Lovely midfield transfer there from Van Zyl. Finds Anderson out to Hodgkins on the right. Connects with Lopez.
Anderson seems to be playing a little bit deep in the field at the moment.
Back to Hodgkinson.
Just
Zederberg unable to control.
again, Wales got some numbers up front if they could just find. Just scanning around the Wales team, I can see that they have run their tanks empty. Welsh supporters giving one more hurrah. Clean ball going forward and just looked like he'd lost control. And maybe in the loss of control, got a good cross against there. Damien Carlitz.
Yeah, Carlitz never afraid to put his body on the line in the end zone like every good striker should. Unfortunately, just not able to get the shot on target there.
Which kids? South Africa, long range ball in the. It looked like they hit a foot, but there was a bit of pressure. Andrew Strong at the back has been tasked with getting the ball out every time. He's hit it very strong, but a great intercept.
Yeah, that's Sean Ace there. Fortunately, gives it back, but manages to win it back. Can Van Zyl get it into the circle? Makes the connection with Jenkins.
Trying to find the short corner, but just couldn't find the foot there. Harvey with a pullback, and again, scanning
Just
along.
doesn't
He's
have
looking
any
for Reynolds.
options.
We get down to 3 minutes to go. Wales back to full strength now, so South Africa just guilty of some crash tackling now. David King just trying to throw the hatch ball there for Nick Reynolds, but the two not communicating, the ball running harmlessly over the baseline. We're down to 2.5 minutes to go. South Africa playing a deep trough ball, just trying to move the ball around the outside. crash tackling all over the place, just trying to win the ball to get some effect here.
Oh dear.
Slater flopping the overhead, unfortunately. Good tracking back. Charlie Jenkins just making sure he's got there, and Slater's going to have to look. Good pass and go. This could be a really good move. If they can just keep control of this. Enough players. Loose ball inside the circle. And umpire again for the short corner. Looked like it popped off somebody there. I'm not sure what the call was for, but if South Africa are clever, they would take their time on this and run it down as much as possible. I would even suggest, Steve Evans, that maybe leaving a skeleton staff on the short corner team and getting players back to the halfway line. You don't want to be caught on the counter-attack on a short corner.
Yeah, definitely not, especially when you know what's going to happen. Anyway, it looks like Damien Collins at the top as well as Briggs.
Injection a little bit wayward.
Goes left. Jenkins across.
To the slip. Ball popping loose, and an amazing backhand shot.
Oh, and I think it looks
Smoked
like
into the roof. There was a follow through and there was a collision. And the umpire's calling the first shot on goal, so a raised ball. Technically, I think they might be correct because there wasn't a shot on target before that. The ball did leave the circle quite a long way, but I think it needs to leave the dotted line.
well, it's pandemonium here. I saw one of the Welsh guys go down. I think he got a Jenkins' stick
In fact, the ball
during the celebration.
The ball did actually leave the
The
dotted
5-yard
line, so the next shot can be a free shot. The umpire might have got that wrong, but it's good to know, Vale. South Africa come out on top of this game, winning the game 1-0, a hard-fought game. We'd love to be down here. We'll see you all tomorrow for more hockey from Cape Town.